We've been talking about negging. Negging is a manipulation tactic that some of these means use as openers. They try to put you down in a negative way, but then laugh it off like it is a joke. Now, I do want to keep talking about this because I need women to know and understand what these tactics are. I was talking about negging, I believe it was like last week, and Sage the Nomad said to me this morning, I just had a guy ask me on a date and then tell me my forehead was huge. But other than that, I'm really beautiful. She says, thank you for your videos. They teach me a lot. I was confused until I remembered your videos on negging. And I said, I'm going to do another negging video today simply because of this. So let's talk about it.
Cocky funny opener. This one takes a little bit more confidence, but you can walk up to the girl, I do this all the time myself, and say, hey, you're almost as cute as me, what's your name? And I'll hold out my hand, I'll smile, and let her know that, you know, I'm a cool, normal guy that isn't like weird. Social calibration is everything, guys. It's not what you say, it's how you.
He continues with, it's not what you say, but how you say it. And then you have to have the confidence and smile like this. Totally rational. This is totally what confident men do, or not. If a man says this to you, if a man says what Sage the Nomad says to you, just leave them alone. Block them, walk away, just walk away silently. Let them stay where they are. Okay, so I actually saw the video clip of that man talking, and it was on a Twitter thread. And then these are some of the comments. This person is like, having a regular conversation is key. And then you have to like have all these plans on how you're going to have a regular conversation. That's how some of these people who are extra confident have to have conversations with a woman. Zacha says, I'm a cool, normal guy, not weird. Said no normal, cool guy ever. Exactly. You don't have to say that you're normal and cool. This person says, the fact that any girl wants to even be around him is what terrifies me. Yoxic says, if you take advice from podcasts, you got to be slow in the head, especially since this man is single. Like, why are you taking advice from him? And why do women even need to want to be around this person? He's mean and terrible. And then the Trump supporter says, I'm a cool, normal guy. And then he uses this from, I think, what is this, Breaking Bad? This person says, if you actually listen to a podcast, you need to rethink life. Katie says, laughing my butt off. I can look at him and tell he ain't got no Riz or girls. I guess Riz is what the youngsters are saying these days. Kat Cantana says, imagine thinking this emotional, man-loving man can teach you how to get a woman. I went over to the 2X chromosome subreddit to find a post on negging. Like I said, we're going to continue this conversation. We're going to continue this conversation because I want to hammer home what these people are saying so that you can know it. It can ring in your ears. It can set off some senses or something when they're doing it so you can know to walk away. She says, drop the best negging line a man has ever said to you. She says, this man wanted me so bad at the end of the date where I said maybe 4 words besides, yeah, wow, sounds so cool. He says, look, I'm going to be honest. You're a 10 out of 10 for looks. But with your bone structure, you're going to age like, that's my favorite negging line. Drop yours. And I guess people started dropping all of their comments. And she said, edit. You ladies are making me feel so much less alone. Let's block all of these effing douchebags. I can't believe some of the replies here. Doesn't matter if you have small boobs, chubby, disabled, strong features, a specific skin tone, successful in your career, successful in your support or hobby, working an honest day. Christ, these men will do anything to make you feel shit enough to F them. Hold your head up, babes. It's all a tactic by rubbish man, B word. No matter your ethnicity, weight, disability, trauma, even if you absolutely hate yourself, no woman on the planet deserves negging. Absolutely. Let's talk about some of these comments. Okay, so Bewitched Loser says her negging line that she got was, I'm not usually into small breasts, but I like yours. And Jeff G responds to that by saying, I usually get annoyed by stupidity, but you are amusing. Curses Sailor says, I get annoyed having to explain things to idiots, but I don't tell them to their face. Welcome to the exception. And State Chemist says, reverse negging. Nice. Great Attitude says, I've gotten that. The same thing about my tiny butt. Jill Tro says, I had some guy tell me how he thinks big boobs are overrated and more than a handful is just a waste. I was young and didn't understand negging, so I just said, that's a really rude thing to say. You must be embarrassed. Then he proceeded to get very drunk and tell me he really liked me and he liked big boobs and was just trying to impress me. It's not going to impress you, impress a woman to say mean things about her as an opener line. Rena's, the name says, he rubbed my leg and then said, ugh, you know, a man wants smooth legs. He was not impressed when I said, well, then you should shave. It's my favorite because I nailed that reply. I will be writing that high for life. Miss Marie says, my ex and I were having an argument and he spouted some red pill trash about since I work part time, I can take care of everything domestic. And I immediately sneezed and was sorry. I'm allergic to BS. I'll never be able to repeat that, but it felt so good to nail it accidentally for once, even. She was allergic to the dustiness. Cord Strike says, took one look at my Star Wars shirt and started quizzing me on it as if I'm supposed to remember every single detail ever, and was like, it's cute that you're wearing that to get guys' attention. Note that this was some random guy standing at the bus stop. Thank God it wasn't a date. I just ignored him and sat somewhere else when the bus came. Then Jade says, what, guys like you? Why the F would I want that? Exactly. That's what you say to him. This person says, I will take it off and burn it right now if it will make you go the F away. Yes, like this person says, all he'll hear is like, take your shirt off. He might just hear that, but we've just got to just be okay with doing, matching their energy and walking away. This person, Wolf Cat, says, was with a male friend, Rob, at a metal festival. His friend, John, I think, butted into our conversation and said something about my Star Trek shirt. Me, oh, I love Star Trek. The original series is my jam. Him, oh, really? What was the episode with where the people lived like Romans? Me, I don't know. I don't do trivia unless it's Harry Potter. Him, for your information, it was the Bread and Circuses, season 2, episode 5, and no real nerd would be into Harry Potter. Me, gatekeeping nerddom isn't the flex you think it is. Him, whatever. You're a poser and an overweight B word. Me, Rob, your friend is a peen. Rob, he's not really my friend. Why can't these people just see something, a commonality in a hobby, and just speak about it? What's the purpose in being a peen, an a-hole over it? I don't know. Anyways, this is just some of the things that I saw about negging, and we needed to talk about it. We need to hammer it home so women recognize what's going on and walk away. Don't be pulled into this madness. Don't forget to like, comment, and share, and drop your negging experiences or how you may have replied to a negging line. All right, like, comment, share.
Hi. Hi.
So it was Mother's Day yesterday, and I'm totally sure there's going to be more of these stories across platforms. This woman says, am I the a-hole for telling my husband Happy Father's Day today because it felt like I was doing it all alone today? Now, I always say about women doing these Am I the a-hole threads, they're simply looking for validation for feeling normal human emotions. So let's get into this. No, just based on the title alone, you're not the a-hole. Okay, for the post. She says, this morning I woke up early to order myself coffee so he could take our son to pick it up and surprise me. Then they went to the grocery store and thoughtfully picked out my favorite breakfast and came home. My husband made half of the breakfast and then asked me to make the other half. No problem. He acknowledged that he was asking me to do the work and still taking credit for the benefit of our kids' experience and memories. It was no problem until he went upstairs to go to the bathroom. And after 45 minutes, I walked upstairs to check on him, and he was asleep in our bed. He slept the entire afternoon. Later that day, I was doing the absolute mountain of dishes, my third load for the day. That's another story. And he asked me to make a grocery list. I asked him if he could please make the list because I'm in the middle of doing the dishes, and further tried to coax him by using Mother's Day in a playful way. I really didn't want to drop what I was doing to look in the fridge he was already standing right in front of to tell him what we needed for dinner. He knows what the ingredients are. He could easily look himself, but he insisted I help him. I was super frustrated, so I took a deep breath, washed and dried my hands, and then I opened the fridge and started telling him what we need. He could sense my frustration and called me out on it. I explained I was really hoping he could make a list himself just this once because I was in the middle of doing the dishes. I explained that when I make a grocery list, I just look at what we have and write down what we don't have, and I didn't understand why he needed my help. He started talking over me to say if I had a problem making a grocery list with him, I should just have told him. I told him that I did communicate with that with him. He doubled down and told me that I need to learn some patience. I smiled and said, Happy Father's Day, because it was the nicest thing I could think to say. That completely set him off. He went off on me, refused to get ingredients to make our dinner, bought dinner for himself and our kids, and has been giving me the silent treatment for over an hour. He says I went too far. I say she should have just packed up, jumped in the car, and went and had herself her own dinner, quiet, alone. Just left the situation. Dude wants to give me the silent treatment. I bet. Let me excuse myself, because yes, she pretty much did the holiday for herself, and dudes wonder why Father's Day is as dry as the Sahara, why people are not going out to do as much as they do on Mother's Day. I see these stories year after year. Women are pretty much complaining about the same thing. Um, Me personally, I didn't want to do anything for Mother's Day this year, and I had it a nice, easy, relaxing day because I know it was going to be the hustle and bustle because people want to celebrate their moms. But some of these dudes simply just don't get it. More stuff is in the comments, so let's get into some of these comments. Oh, I forgot to say, once again, not the a hole, just like I figured in the beginning when I started reading and saw the title. Not the a hole, he is a clown. For Father's Day, wake up and treat yourself and then leave him with the kids and responsibility. Tell him you wanted his gift to mirror the one you received for Mother's Day and that you're willing to make dinner for the children just like he did for you. Stigley says you could play it as I wanted you to spend quality time with the kids without me as a distraction on Father's Day. No vindictiveness, just come across as a caring spouse, thinking of them being a father and highlighting it. Don't forget to take the good car. Because obviously everybody has a good car. Now for this comment. My husband booked a gig the night before and stayed overnight. His vehicle has broken down, so he borrowed mine. He complained about how he didn't like my car and left it dirty and smelly. I woke up early and made French toast because it's Mother's Day and that's what I want. Kids give me presents they picked up at the Mother's Day stall, which I had to race to school to give them the money for because he forgot and was on drop off that morning. Anyway, he gets home from the gig, has a shower, plays PlayStation. I take the kids for haircuts, to get some winter school clothes, and a few other errands, was gone for a few hours. Get back, he complains he wasn't able to nap. I cook the kids dinner, he plays PlayStation and watches videos on his phone. He has two things he promised to do: make me dinner for Mother's Day and print out the tax forms he's had ages to do but hasn't yet. And the appointment is first thing Monday morning. First thing Monday. Complains to me he can't possibly do both because I've only been home 6 hours. He stomps about the kitchen trying to come up with dinner because he's changed his mind about what to cook, even though I've already bought all the ingredients and had picked out what I wanted for dinner. I chose steak because it's the only thing he can cook. Until I say, don't worry, let's just get takeout. He's on board, but is upset he has to go and get it. I'm shocked he's still sober enough to go and get it. It's usually on me because too many beers. I put the kids to bed. He complains that Mother's Day puts so much pressure on him. Anyway, I'm divorcing mine. If he wasn't around for Mother's Day, I'd have done exactly the same thing effort wise, but I would have had a lot less complaining and making everything about him. That's not the only reason I'm divorcing him, but it's all of a similar theme. It's not just you. Just thought I'd share what I'm planning to do about my similar situation. Women are getting tired. Men are letting you know very clearly that most don't like you. They don't want to support you. They don't want to do small gestures, big gestures. They don't want to do any gestures. So women are saying, okay, cool. I'm not going to spend the rest of my life trying to fix this. Now, Forgot About Him says, genuinely, why do we hear about these guys over and over again? How do they not understand how their wife is doing everything? These men act like actual children, having tantrums if their wife doesn't keep doing everything. It's unfathomable that these guys don't see the problem. And Apprehensive Soil says they do. They just don't think their wives will actually leave. And then when they do leave, they are gobsmacked and like they're just blindsided, like I didn't even see it coming. Trash Rat Talk says, this is the reason. My dad jokes about how spoiled he is. My family jokes about how spoiled my dad is. I look at my father in disgust sometimes. How can you just sit in your effing chair all day while my mom and I clean up the house in your messes? It makes me want to pull my hair out. It drives me crazy. Before I woke up, I was helping her with her she does for him, like organize his shoes, match his socks, do their laundry, make their bed, make his coffee, etc. My mom is so tired from working, gone for work by 6, back by 6, while my dad works from home a few hours a week. And when he isn't working, his butt is in his chair. I work from home as well, but in between working, I'm cleaning the house and taking care of my responsibilities. What's my dad doing while I do this? Facebook games all day. I saw a video by a woman that said when she asked men what would make the perfect wife, she said they described a slave. My husband is a messy toddler trope needs to die, and I'm very excited to see that many women are refusing to date and marry nowadays. Yep, a lot of women are saying, get someone else to do it. The mom to wife pipeline is drying up, and deservedly so. Women are tired of being servants. Women are tired of being servants. Anyways, jump in the comments. Let me know what you think about this. Did you have a good Mother's Day? Did you get what you wanted? All I really wanted was to chill, and I did get to chill. I didn't even I didn't even work out yesterday. Let me know how your day was. Like, comment, and share. Now we have an Am I the A-hole thread from a man. And typically their Am I the A-hole threads are quite different than women's. All right. Am I the a-hole for being too distant from my daughter when she was going through her first period? Right. Yes, you're the a-hole if you're distant from your daughter who's going through something like this. Okay, let's just get into the post. I am the father of a young girl named Mira. Last year, my wife went overseas for work, and it was just me and our daughter at home. So, as the title says, our daughter went through her first period while my wife was away. It was an awful experience for the both of us. I can still remember Mira laying on her bed, crying loudly from the pain, and I would be in the other room not knowing what to say or what to do because this is a really girl to girl issue to be handled. I was simultaneously distant, yet close to her through this experience. What I mean by this is our daughter plays the guitar, and I let her really rock out as loud as she wanted without damaging her hearing. And I bought her a new PlayStation game to ease her mind and provide some comfort. And I also bought her a really beautiful journal to spill her heart out onto. But I told Mira to just wait for a few more weeks, and Mom would be home to be her safe space. Y'all, to be her safe space. So Dad is letting her know I am not your safe space. When my wife came back home and she found out how I freaked out, I was how freaked out I was about our daughter's first period. She was furious, as in she was slamming the doors and yelling at me and all that. She told me to grow the F up and reminded me that I've been an adult for more than 2 decades now. Now, to my wife's credit, she was really only behaving this severely when our daughter was at school, and we tried to keep the peace together around Mira. Yes, grow the F up. Quit treating girls and women's periods like that we're radioactive. It's part of biology. You go online, you look up what to do to ease symptoms. The Google machine has all of these answers. Any woman you know has all of these answers. It takes some empathy and care to support a girl through this. You are the adult in the household. You have seen this play out with every last woman in your life at one point. There were people there in your life that you could have asked if you actually gave an F. Some of these people are getting on the back end, once these kids are adults, they're going to get this same lack of empathy and it will be earned. Now, even just like he wrote this, there's going to be women and people who just have some sense that run into the comments and just tell him what he could have done, which he could have just found on the Google. Like, okay, importance. Oh man, a heat pad and some ibuprofen would have sufficed. Watching a movie together and eating snacks of her choice. It's not that hard to appease a menstruating girl. It's not like she's dying, but it's still a big deal. And I hope for her sake it wasn't as uncomfortable as you made it sound. I get that some men didn't have any conversations about this stuff growing up, but you've been married for a while. You should know what they're like and how to help. Maybe this has less to do with the period and more to do with you realizing your daughter is changing and growing up, and that's terrifying you. But I urge you to be a part of this time in her life instead of pulling away because it's uncomfortable. Historical story says, I honestly can't comprehend such men. My own father wasn't close to me during my teenage years in this topic, but he was always sympathetic, making sure I was all right and treating my pain as important and severely sucking. Exactly. All you need is some sympathy and some assistance, like some pills or something like ibuprofen or whatever, just to ease the pain. Some sympathy goes a long way. Obligation Greedy says, my mom's boyfriend would go and get me Pamprin or Midol if I needed it. My mom didn't get painful cramps and worked a lot, so he was always around if I needed it. I had no issue telling him if I remember correctly. Nothing weird about it. People really need to get rid of this stigma. They really do. This is something that has been around like forever. Why are people still so squeamish about it? So Katie says they also need empathy and for you to believe them if they say they're in pain and to not act like their period is gross. And avoid spending time with your kid while she's on her period is acting like her period is gross. Exactly. Can we stop this? This is just weird. Act like an adult, not a middle school kid. Like when a girl student got her period and then you teased her. You have to grow up at some point and be an adult. Petty B word says your attitude and lack of concern, empathy, and intelligence are disgusting, which really instills the idea in her head that there is something wrong with having a period. So your a-hole effing attitude just told her one, having a period is something to be embarrassed about. Two, that she is less than and should keep her pain to herself because she has periods. To not expect any help from you, you effed up big time. Yes, he dropped the ball big time. Three, that she can't depend on you to be there for her. Dang. Four, that you are worthless. That you are worthless. You are not her safe space. He said that she is not my safe space. Um, Five, ever hear of Google? Don't have sisters or your mom to ask. Don't have any woman that you've ever had a conversation to ask. You have some apologies to make. First one to your daughter. I feel sorry for her. Hopefully, her mom will be able to be both mom and dad for her. Women usually just have to suck it up and handle all of these things. And that's a reason why many of them are just saying it's just easier to be a single mother because it's less stress. You don't have to train these people to act like humans and have some human sympathy, empathy, cares, F's to give even to their own children. Anyways, let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.